Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Amy plays a Dragonwing Glider, while Nick controls an Elesh Norn. No, not that one, the other one. Okay. What happens? Does the token that the Mirrodin ability creates survive? Okay, so in order to answer this question, we're going to need to know exactly how the Mirrodin ability works. So as you can see here, that ability is a triggered ability, and it does two things when it resolves. First, it creates a 2/2 token, then it attaches the equipment onto the token. Now, the important thing to know for the purposes of this question is that the thing that makes 0/0 creatures die for having 0 toughness would be a state-based action. And state-based actions are not performed during the middle of the resolution of a spell or ability. Rather, the game has to wait until all of the steps for the spell or ability's resolution have been completed, and then it does state-based actions after that. Of course, by that time, the equipment will already be attached to the rebel token, and it won't be a 0/0 anymore, so it'll get to live. Now, another interesting consequence of how this ability works can be seen if, for example, we did not have an Elesh Norn, but we did have a Cavalier. So what do you think? Would playing the Dragonwing Glider cause the Cavalier to trigger or not? Okay, so the answer to this question is that the Dragonwing Glider player would not get to draw a card. The reason for this is that even though the game doesn't check for state-based actions in the middle of resolving a spell or ability, the game still does know exactly what's actually happening in the game. So that means in particular that the game knows that a creature with 4 power did not enter the battlefield. Rather, a creature with 2 power entered the battlefield, then an equipment got attached to that creature that brought its power up to 4. That does not match the trigger condition that we're looking for, and so there's no card draw. Finally, let's wrap it up by noticing how the second coming of Elesh Norn does a lot better job against these rebel scum than the original does. That's because the Mirrodin ability definitely does count as a triggered ability that triggers when a permanent enters the battlefield. And that means that if an opposing Elesh Norn is on the battlefield, well, that would mean that that triggered ability just would not trigger at all, and you would not get the token in the first place. On the other hand, let's say that you control an Elesh Norn while you play one of these 4 Mirrodin equipments. Well, that would work out pretty much exactly the way that you're probably expecting. The ability would trigger an additional time, which means that the first instance of that ability would resolve exactly normally. It would create a 2/2 token, and then it would attach the equipment to it. The second instance of that ability would create a second token, and it would move the equipment onto the new one. And so you would end up with 2 tokens. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.